Some people are just bad at playing games. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 worst decisions in Saw. For this list, we'll be looking at poor choices made by characters in the Saw franchise. These picks all deal with dire moments throughout the Saw movies, so a spoiler alert is in order. Number 10. Ryan opens a door marked "No Exit." Jigsaw. Ryan is sealed with Mitch and Anna in one of Jigsaw's trap buildings.
Oh God, he's doing this to us.
I have no idea.
He tries to use an exit to get out early and ends up catching his leg in an intricate wire setup. While trying to open a door isn't inherently a bad idea, Ryan's choice to open one marked "No Exit" is questionable at best.
No! For real, you don't think he's trying to tell us something?
This is particularly upsetting considering that by this point, Ryan is already well aware of how lethal Jigsaw's games are. His failure to remind Anna about the literal nature of these traps are what ultimately seals his fate. But his failure to follow basic directions remains more frustrating. Jigsaw's punishments are all about teaching people, and Ryan demonstrates the pitfalls of learning nothing. Number 9. Gus looks through the peephole. Saw 2. In this gory sequel, a group of strangers wake up in a room and soon learn that they've been poisoned.
Right now, you are breathing in a deadly nerve agent. You've been breathing it since you arrived here. Those of you familiar with the Tokyo subway attacks will know its devastating effects on the human body.
Understandably distraught and driven by panic, Xavier commits to using a key on the door, despite a note telling them explicitly not to.
No, that's not a good idea.
So what are we gonna do, huh? Sit here?
This idea is already risky considering the warning, but Gus putting his eye to the peephole simultaneously is downright stupid. All the previous mentions of noises behind the door only serve to prove how little Gus listens. Though Xavier triggers this trap, Gus's plan to back him up is the mistake that arguably backfired worst of all. Number 8. Gordon forgets the saw. Saw. Adam and Lawrence's confinement makes up the central tension of Saw, with the two men struggling to find a way out. Unfortunately, armed with little more than a bone saw and a one-way cell phone, the pair quickly find themselves devolving into panic. When Lawrence can't reach the phone later in the film, he naively gives up without trying other options. The fact he doesn't extend his reach with the saw is painful to watch, especially as he uses it elsewhere only seconds later. It's also unclear why Adam doesn't give this advice. Even if the Saw somehow slipped their minds, it's similarly disheartening that Lawrence doesn't think to use his shirt to extend his reach before employing it as a tourniquet.
Lawrence! Oh, what are you doing?
Number 7. Rigg gets too eager. Saw 4. By the time Officer Rigg became a protagonist in Saw 4, he'd already played a supporting role against Jigsaw in 2 previous films. Jigsaw tested him in this installment by telling him that his need to save others went too far.
But with your survival came your obsession. Obsession to stop those around you from making the wrong choices, thus preventing you from making the right ones. You wanted to save everyone. Tonight, I give you the opportunity to face your obsession.
Regardless of these warnings, Rigg rushed to Brenda's aid, and wouldn't you know it, he wound up setting off otherwise avoidable timers.
What is that? What did you do?
Given Jigsaw's hints, you'd think he could have looked around first and discovered the trap before touching things. Rigg had already led his fellow policeman to harm in Saw 2 by being rash, and yet still ran hastily into his final test 2 movies later.
Where the hell's the combination?
Number 6. Eric attacks Amanda. Saw 3. Detective Eric Matthews' quest to stop Jigsaw ultimately saw him trapped in the room from the original Saw. He surprised Amanda by escaping so quickly, but his move to fight her was poorly planned. Matthew was already at a disadvantage with his broken foot, so he shouldn't have started a brawl. While he was lucky to be left alive to crawl home, his decision to taunt Amanda further was arguably his most self-destructive idea of all.
Where's my son?
Considering how few people have survived Jigsaw's traps, Matthew's confrontational attitude was a terrible way to approach things. Number 5. Never working together. Saw 5.
In choosing how to react to this situation, your lifelong instincts will tell you to do one thing, but I implore you to do the opposite. Let the games begin.
5 people are tested with a series of traps in Saw 5. Unfortunately, each person fends for themselves when they're tethered together, rather than attempting to use one key to free everyone. They bizarrely miss the fact that another's room's safe zones can hold multiple people, which needlessly diminishes their numbers further.
Better luck next time, rich boy.
In the end, these thoughtless moves simply mean that their final trials involving shocks and violent sacrifices are all the more severe.
So one person can fill the beaker with 10 pints of blood and die, or 2 people can fill it with 5 pints.
All this stumbling is even less excusable since Jigsaw tells them from the start that they're specifically being punished for selfish actions. The whole set of traps is surprisingly easy in retrospect, if only these victims had actually worked together on each one.
You're a monster!
So are you.
We both deserve to be here.
Number 4. Adam tries to shoot Jigsaw. Saw. Right as Lawrence left the bathroom and Saw, we see the real Jigsaw rise in front of Adam. When Jigsaw tells Adam that the key to his chain is in the bathtub, Adam remembers having pulled the plug, meaning the key is gone. Instead of appealing to Jigsaw's sense of fair play or trying to shoot the chains, he decides to shoot Jigsaw. His impulsive last-ditch effort makes no sense. Even if he killed Jigsaw, it wouldn't have solved anything. He'd still have been trapped. In response, Jigsaw electrocutes Adam and leaves him to die.
Game over.
Number 3. Addison puts both hands in the box. Saw 2.
What is this, house arrest? We in jail?
Nah, this ain't jail, man.
Yeah, you did a lot of time?
Yeah, too much.
From the start of her imprisonment in Saw 2, Addison maintains a level-headed attitude to exploring the house. After being weakened by poison for hours, she finds a box with an antidote in it. However, she ignores a mini cassette, then accidentally spills a liquid from the syringe. With her one hand caught in blades, it's unclear why she doesn't try to free herself with the other one. Her decision to put another hand in the box is foolish to the point of being fatal. We get that Addison is dazed, but her approach to one of the series' easiest puzzles is agonizingly bad. Number 2. Peter doesn't listen. Saw 5. Peter Strom chases down Jigsaw for some time and even survives a trap in his search for the truth. When he finds a glass coffin sitting in a room, he starts playing a tape that gives a compelling argument to get in.
The only way to survive this room is by entering the glass box before you. Pain will be incurred, but you have a chance of survival.
Peter stops the tape mid-sentence to hide, however, and forces the sinister Detective Hoffman into the case. By acting without all the information, Peter dooms himself to the closing walls of the room. The fact that he doesn't finish the tape before using the trap is truly disappointing.
I ask you, Special Agent Strong, have you learned enough to trust me?
Regardless of Peter's understandable mistrust of Hoffman, he sadly loses his game because he can't follow instructions.
I know who you are! I know!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Jeff gloats and takes too long. Saw 3. The vengeful Jeff is forced into a series of traps that revolve around the death of his son and the ensuing court case. He initially hesitates to help the people he blames for the outcome.
You've got to help him, Jeff!
While these mixed emotions make sense, his inevitable shift to help everyone renders his delays frustratingly counterproductive. Jeff's angry shaming of each person is also stupidly wasteful given how dire their situations are already.
You don't remember me. Well, maybe you remember Timothy Young?
By taking so long, most people are beyond saving by the time Jeff decides to help. All his bumbling decision-making ultimately hurts him the most and cements his trials as being among the franchise's most difficult to watch.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.